What is up, everybody? Renfail here, and we've got a really cool Voyagers of Nera update to share. They just did devlog number 30 yesterday, which is a patch preview and community highlights for the big patch that's coming out in November, which is adding a slew of new features to the game, including better controller support, well, full Xbox controller support, and a solo boat, which is a big deal because those are things that we touched on during our previous playthrough when we were going through the launch version of Early Access. Shout out to Treehouse once again for the early access key. I had a great time playing this game. I believe it was last month when we sunk our teeth in, and I am 100% going to be coming back to play it again in November when the new update drops to check out all the new features. So let's kind of go into this and see what's coming out of the pipeline because there's some really cool stuff here. On November 4th is when this is dropping. Um, we're going to hit our second early access roadmap point with a major update to controller support, improvements to sailing, inventory, building, skimming, encumbrance, item weight, and way more. These were all based on reviews and feedback from the players who have dove into early access so far. There's a lot of changes in this patch. We will release full patch notes closer to the launch, but here's a sneak peek at some of the biggest items. So the big thing is full Xbox controller support added. In-game UI now directly displays controller glyphs, improved controller sensitivity, input tweaks and toggles, better motion smoothing and camera settings. Now, if you watched my playthrough, those of you who are long-term members of my community know this. I play controller 99% of the time. I actually pretty much refuse to play games that don't offer me controller support. And one of the sticky points for me with the launch version of early access was that even though there was controller support, it was like Steam controller support, not actually integrated Xbox controller support. So there was some wonkiness to how certain things didn't work. You couldn't back out of menus, and most importantly, you couldn't use the surfboard on the controller. You would have to go to the mouse and keyboard because it just didn't work. And then trying to control the two-person boat was a nightmare on both mouse and keyboard and controller, but it sounds like they've also gotten that sorted out because they're adding a solo player boat. We'll get to that in a minute. The big thing though is full controller support for at least the Xbox controller. I have no idea if they're going to be planning on doing the PlayStation controller later on, but I play via Bluetooth on my Series X controller all the time. So that's phenomenal to know that this is coming. And also, as they say, additional sensitivity, input tweaks, and toggles. So we're getting a whole bunch of things that we can tweak here with the controllers. You'll be able to do your camera sensitivity, invert your steering control for the boat if you want to. There's also going to be all these different settings that you can adjust via the controller, which is really, really, really cool. Also, this is a huge one. Toggle sprint for mobility accessibility, because that was something that I had talked about. Was the only way you could sprint on the controller was you had to hold down the thumbstick as you were running. Which was just killing my thumb after long periods of gameplay because it wasn't just a toggle run, it was you had to hold it down while you're running, and that was just murder. So being able to have a toggle sprint, which is like what you see in most other games, is really cool. I would love to see an auto run feature, hopefully at some point later on down the road, but great progress on that front. Now, this is the next big. I would say this is bigger than controller support for 90% of players because I realize the controller support thing is just for I'm in the I don't know if I'm in the minority in that, but like that, the controller support only affects the people who care about controllers. The solo boat is for everybody who plays this game because the existing boat, which I'm assuming is still in the game, is a two-person boat. Now you could control it with one person, but it was very much a finicky thing where you had to um, adjust the sail, run back, grab the rudder and steer the ship, and then run back and take the sail down. Like you were constantly moving between the stations, similar to what you have to do in like Sea of Thieves. But now we have a solo boat. So the highly requested single station boat will be fully pilotable with keyboard or controller. This is designed for shorter expeditions and solo players and includes new in-game helper tooltips and UI improvements. That is a huge quality of life upgrade. So kudos to the team for putting that in. That's amazing because that was entirely, like I said, based on feedback. That's awesome. Inventory and crafting updates. You're now going to be able to name your storage containers, sort items with one-click sorting. You're going to unlock crafting from storage. That was something that I had requested during the first one was like better, crafting from storage so that we don't have to have it on our inventory. We can actually craft it from storage chests. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. And new hotkeys for store-like items in the chest, which is perfect. All things we had asked for. They've also reduced construction flights to one per biome. Fights, excuse me. And I think before it was 3 fights per biome. I'm not sure. Replace extras with traversal and project puzzles. Introduce interactive ruins puzzles for exploration lovers. That's going to be awesome. And a new monolith track on the map. Oh, collected monoliths now track on the map. Perfect. Now it says combat feel improvements. Reduced animation lockouts, which is something we talked about in the previous playthrough. Enemies now have a stagger bar. You can stun them to deal more damage. Oh, there's actually a dev video. I have not watched the dev video yet, so that might be something interesting to go through. There's also a stream from last Thursday when producer Steph, design director Christina, and marketing lead Chiri sat down to talk about what's coming in the next patch with sneak previews of the solo player boat, inventory upgrades, and etc. crafting from storage. So if you want to check that out, you can go watch that at your leisure. And then they also do a community showcase here, which showcases some of the things that players have already done with the building and everything else. They've also got some really cool stats here, talking about a certain amount of views on Twitch, views on YouTube. Other 2,000 streamers played the game live. Twitch drops are returning in December, which will be awesome. I don't have anything going on in December, so we'll definitely have to come back for that drops campaign for sure. And if you're interested in joining the creator program, they're going to relaunch in December to onboard new members. Stay tuned. That's cool to know. Heading into December, we're also going to have big updates for Spirit Companions. We're also exploring boat customization, speed boost cannons, and maybe even teleportation to be determined, balance maintenance, and those things are experimental, not coming in November, but part of the year-end update roadmap. So, also talking about Spirit Companion classes as a potential thing to do, which have Spirit Companions leveling up with you as you fight, explore, and gather. So, really cool stuff from the team. I'm really excited for when this update drops. Expect to see me back in Voyagers of Nera once this goes live, so hopefully we'll see you alongside us when we're back in. And if you haven't already watched my playthrough from the original launch of the early access, it is available in an episodic format here on YouTube in a playlist, but you can also go back into the past VODs and watch the full VODs if you prefer to do it that way. Until next time, everybody, stay safe. Happy gaming.